Hey guys, it's Nicole and I am here with a Q&A video. If you're not following me or if you haven't liked my Facebook page, then make sure you guys go do that if you want to be involved in future Q&As, because that is the only place that I will be asking you guys to ask us questions. So I'm just gonna jump right into the question. Ashley Long asks, when do you and Sean plan on getting married? When we first got together, then both of us agreed that we were not even gonna talk about marriage until after we were together for a year. So after we, reached that 1 year mark, then we started, thinking about, the possibility of us getting married. And we both decided that we didn't want to get married until after we were able to afford it, and after we were able to afford, a ceremony and stuff like that. So Sean and I have been together almost 3 years now, and we definitely do plan on getting married. We just don't know when. Caitlin Donnell wants to know, how are things with your family? Things are going good. I get along with everybody that, is at my mom's house. So, with my mom, our relationship is strong. My brother, him and I have talked, and I apologize to him about everything that went down with us, when we were living there. And, I just wanted to let him know that I love him and that after everything, I'm sorry, pretty much. Everything is pretty much going just fine with my family. I think somebody asked something later on about Maggie, so I'll go into detail about Maggie later on. Amber Phillips wants to know, any more babies in your future? And also, do you plan on staying in this house for a while or having a roommate for a while? Yes, Sean and I do want to have more babies. He has serious baby fever and I get baby fever, a lot. So we definitely do plan on having more children. My Implanon, I'm on the Implanon, so I have that stick in my arm, and it's good for 3 years. And if you do the math, Sean and I have been together almost 3 years, so my Implanon is very close to being up. It'll actually be no good anymore in October of this year. So pretty much when October comes around, we're still going to be trying to, prevent us from having a baby and stuff like that. We're still going to be using, condoms and stuff like that. But we are pretty much going to be letting things happen the way they happen in October, So once the birth control isn't working anymore, then that's pretty much when it'll be kind of up in the air and a bigger possibility of us having another baby. And we do plan on staying in this house for a while. We are month to month on our, lease, I guess. So, we don't have any, obligations to stay here for, 2 years or 3 years. We don't have, any obligations to stay here longer than a month, because we're month to month. If we did end up finding, a way better place, then we could just, get up and move if we were able to afford it. And we are going to be getting a roommate. I've mentioned to you guys that Zach is going to be moving in with us, which is Sean's close friend, and we're also close friends, but Sean and Zach have known each other half of their lives. Sean, let me just put this into perspective for some of you guys. Sean and Zach have known each other 11 years, and Sean is 22. That's half of his life. They've never had a situation where Zach was doing anything sketchy or Sean was doing anything sketchy, they've just been good friends for 11 years, so I also really enjoy Zach, he's freaking awesome. So Nadia Binte Ali, sorry if I totally butchered your name. She wants to know, wants to hear something about your dad. Never heard of him. Sorry if mentioning him hurts you anyway, because I never heard of him. No, it doesn't, hurt me in any way. I guess I haven't really mentioned anything about my dad. So, my dad, him and my mom divorced when I was in kindergarten. So, how I remember that situation going is, my dad was an alcoholic. He was always really, like angry, you know? Like, he was a great man when he was sober, but when he was drunk, which was a lot of the time, really on like hard alcohol from what I understand, because I was so young back then, I didn't really understand, you know? But like, I guess like when he would drink like hard alcohol, then he would get really mean. Like, I just remember like one day I came home from kindergarten, because my dad used to always pick us up from kindergarten, and then one day my mom picked us up and we were like confused. We were like, what? You know, and she was like, oh, you guys want ice cream? You want this? You know, she was like making it fun. So we were like, woohoo, you know, and then like we get home and we were all like, you know, every single day that we came home from kindergarten, we'd always call our puppy Sierra, you know, and we'd be like, Sierra, Sierra, and she'd come run into us. And most of the time she would have pooped in the house somewhere and us kids would have had to pick it up. We were like calling Sierra, 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 and she wasn't coming, you know, like she wasn't anywhere to be found, and neither was my dad. So we were like really confused, and then my big sister, who was living with us at the time, she popped her head down the stairs and was like, oh, your dad moved out and he took Sierra with him. That was when my mom and my dad like officially like divorced, you know, because we had known like before that they were getting a divorce, but we were really young and didn't really understand, you know, so for him to actually be gone, you know, it was like really like confusing. He just left without telling anybody, you know, he just disappeared. He felt like it would be easier if he just left instead of saying his goodbyes and stuff. So the next couple of years I spent a lot of my time waiting at my bedroom window for my dad to show up again, because like he would tell us that he would be coming home or whatever to visit or something. And I just remember waiting in my window, just waiting for his car to pull up, to see his car, you know, and I kept thinking about how excited I was going to be once I finally saw his car pull up, you know, and these are like vivid memories, and I was a child, you know, so like these are like my memories of what I have of my dad. Sometimes we would go stay the night with him at his house, but when we did, like we always like, we didn't really like it because like he got an apartment and then he had a new girlfriend, and all we did was watch like movies, which, you know, because of that, like I now am like, you know, I have like all these favorite movies because they're movies that we used to watch with my dad. For example, Planet of the Apes, like the original one, we used to watch all the time when we would go stay the night. We used to watch The Scorpion King, The Mummy, you know, like all of those old movies. I just remember my dad being angry a lot, you know, like he would get frustrated with us a lot. So that's how things were for a long time, you know. He just like had his own apartment with his girlfriend, and then we would occasionally go over to stay the night. But as we got older, like into middle school and stuff like that, we kind of stopped like going to stay the night at my dad's house, and we would just see him, you know, here and there. Like sometimes he would come over. We really just stopped like waiting for him to come. So now we were kind of moving on with our lives, and he was you know, trying to be a part of our lives, but we didn't want anything really to do with him, you know, because he wasn't there our entire childhood. There was one day when I was in middle school, I think I was in like 7th grade, and my dad showed up out of nowhere, you know, at the apartment in Nevada, and he was like, oh, hey guys, how's it going, blah, blah, and we're like, oh, hey dad, how's it going, blah, 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 you know, and then he's like, okay, you know, and like he just kind of came over for no reason and said hi, and then was like, okay, I'll see you guys later, you know, I'll stop by later or whatever, you know. And so he left, and then like my mom called us a little bit later and said, hey, just so you guys know, your dad left to Florida. It was either Florida or Indiana, because he's been to both of those places. Like he's lived in both of those places, but he left state, didn't even say goodbye or tell us that he was leaving. He just came over and was like, oh, hey, how's it going, blah, 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 you know, and then left, you know. So like he didn't say goodbye. My dad was never really good with saying goodbye to us, you know, when he disappeared for years on end. So that was the last time I saw my dad. It's been 7 years since I've seen my dad. I think the last time I heard from him was like 2 Christmases ago, when he called the house and like none of us had been answering or whatever, but Sean picked up the phone, and that was the first time that him and Sean actually had a conversation. And my dad just pretty much was on the phone talking to Sean, asking if we were mad at him and asking why nobody talks to him and blah, blah, blah. And Sean's just like, I don't know. Like, they're busy, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure they'll call you, blah, 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 you know. But that was the last time I heard from my dad. That was the first time Sean and my dad actually talked. Okay, Tiffany Oberg would like to know, updates on Maggie. How are you dealing with your adulting life, like bills and different responsibilities? The last time I talked to you guys about Maggie, I didn't really have much to say, just like really what's been going on was that, like, you know, she's trying to get her shit together, blah, blah, blah. Well, little did I know that that day that I was recording the video telling you guys about like Maggie and Zach and stuff, Maggie had been arrested on Valentine's Day. She got arrested because she was in a car with a friend and she got pulled over and apparently the car was stolen. So she is still sitting in jail. So that's where Maggie's at right now. And how am I dealing with my adulting life? So it is definitely a lot more stressful than I thought it was going to be. I am a lot more broke than I thought I was going to be because like Sean and I, how we've been doing it is like, I've been, you know, we divided the amount of like for rent, you know, like we divided that amount into 4s since we get paid weekly. And so, technically I only need to pull out like 180 something to, you know, make the $750, but I've been pulling out $200 every paycheck. So every week I pull out $200 from my paycheck so that I can put it aside for rent and stuff like that. And after I pull off $200, I'm so freaking flat broke. Like I have less than $100 every single time to, you know, deal with. But it's also okay because, you know, Sean gets paid too. So we use, you know, the remainder of what he makes to help us get through the week and stuff like that. Catherine Osmond, again, sorry if I butchered your last name. What kind of jobs do you both have, and are you able to adjust your schedules to avoid daycare? Will you be getting a P.O. box? Sean and I both work at Pilot Flying J, which if you don't know what that is, it's a truck stop. It's like a gas station, but bigger. And we do adjust our schedules to avoid daycare. And will we be getting a P.O. box? I definitely plan on it. We do have a P.O. box right now, but it's like not ours. It's Sean's mom's, but we all use it. So if you guys really wanted to send us stuff, you could send it there. Alicia Sutton Cornelius wants to know, are you planning on going to school? If so, what would be your major? I have been thinking about this like crazy. Like I really, really want to go to school. I know I've been telling you guys forever that I want to go to school. I need to figure out what I need, like what I want and what I want to do. All I know is that I want to do some sort of rescue for animals. Claire Wolf wants to know, what do you like most about living on your own now? Have you and Sean discussed having more kids, and if so, when? I love the freedom. I love all the space, you know. I love that, you know, we did this on our own. We took the steps to grow our own lives all by ourselves, and that's what's most exciting. I kind of already answered the, you know, baby question. Emma Sharman wants to know, my question is what's the hardest thing about living in your own house and why? And also, what are the challenges that comes with it? Love you so much. And I love you too, Emma. You're awesome. But anyways, so the hardest thing is probably the bills. Like I'm constantly thinking about money and if we're gonna be able to pay the bills. Yeah, that's probably like the hardest part. And also like the fact that I don't drive, and now I have to kind of face that fear to get myself to work because I can't just walk to work anymore. And I used to drive myself to and from work, but I literally lived like right across the street from work when we were at the RV park. So now I actually have to drive like 20 minutes, like 25 minutes to work. And at first I was really nervous about that. It really like scared the shit out of me. But I have been facing my fear of driving, and I have been forcing myself to drive, and it's not scary. Like I'm so proud of myself, and I totally want to do like a completely separate video on driving and anxiety, because I've never had something affect my life so freaking much and make me feel so pathetic because I'm scared shitless to drive. Jody Rose Aubrey asks, what's your thoughts on very young moms, 13 to 16? I totally, like, I don't believe in young like girls trying to get pregnant. You know, I understand that things happen, but you know, now that I have become a young mom, you know, and like growing up and looking back, like I lost my virginity when I was 14, and that is way too young. Like when I think about it, like I should not have been focusing my attention on when I was gonna lose my virginity. It's like, if you're a child, enjoy, like, and I don't even want to call you a child because I know that, like, you know, that's not what you want to hear when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, you know, but you're still so young. Like, you still have so much life to live, and you don't even realize it until you get to the point that I'm at, where I'm 20 years old, and, you know, like, when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, you know, like, I thought that, you know, life, like, my young life was already passing me by. If I could tell you guys anything, if you're 13, 14, 15, or 16 and you're thinking about, you know, wanting a baby or even trying to have sex, you know, just relax, man. Like, I just want girls to understand, you know, that you don't have to rush to be an adult, because trust me, you're gonna be an adult. You're gonna get there. It's gonna happen for you. Just embrace the time that you don't have to be an adult. Those are all the questions I had in this Q&A. So, like I said before, if you want to be a part of future Q&As, then go like my Facebook fan page, because that's where I'm gonna ask you guys to ask me more questions. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!